On my way today to conduct these two exclusive interviews we've done with two American fighter pilots who would be fired from the military if they revealed their identities because of the don't ask, don't tell policy. On my way into those interviews today, I handed somebody else on set my BlackBerry. I said, the sound guy, Larry the sound guy, is going to tell everybody to turn off their BlackBerry. So turn off yours and everybody else turn off theirs, but secretly don't turn this one off. Keep this one on and keep your eye on the inbox, because if in the middle of me talking to these fighter pilots, the White House or the Pentagon announces that they are complying with that judge's order, that the implementation of Don't Ask, Don't Tell is going to be put on pause, if a decision is made to stop implementing the policy that is the subject of these interviews, you have to stop the interview. If a decision on this pops on my BlackBerry while I am interviewing these fighter pilots today, interrupt the interview, just walk over, tap me on the shoulder, and hand this to me, and we will stop what we're doing. Because these fighter pilots, I think, may want me to turn the lights on at that point. They are ready to stop lying about who they are and to stop worrying every day that they could be fired at any moment. That's why they told us they wanted to be on this TV show to talk about this. So I said to poor Julia at the interview shoot, secretly don't turn off my BlackBerry and interrupt me when something happens. She did not interrupt me because nothing happened. No word from the Pentagon or from the White House about a response to the court-ordered injunction banning implementation of Don't Ask, Don't Tell today. Rather, we are told to expect, probably imminently, that the Department of Justice will appeal the ruling and appeal to stay the injunction. Robert Gibbs, the White House spokesman, had this off-camera but on-the-record explanation today. Quote, the president strongly believes that this policy is unjust, that it is detrimental to our national security, and that it discriminates against those who are willing to die for their country. And the president strongly believes that it's time for this policy to end. As you know, the president has implemented a process with the Department of Defense, with the Secretary of Defense, with Admiral Mullen and the other members of the Joint Chiefs to move forward in implementing an end to this policy in an orderly way. The best way to end it, excuse me, is for the Senate to follow the lead of the House of Representatives so that end can be implemented in a fashion that's consistent with our obligations in fighting two wars. But absent that action, he said, the president again has set up a process to end this policy. The bottom line is that this is a policy that's going to end. It's not whether it will end, but the process by which it will end. Here's the thing. The White House line, the line from the administration on this now, is that they'd like the Senate to repeal it. Absent that action, the spokesman said, absent that action, absent the Senate voting to repeal it, absent the moon crashing through the atmosphere and turning us all to green cheese, absent that action of the Senate repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the White House says there is an orderly process underway to get rid of the policy. And that orderly process is that the Senate will repeal it. The White House is sternly assuring everyone that the policy will end. And when you drill down on how they say it will end, they say it will end because the Senate will end it, even though the Senate has just chosen not to end it. And the Senate is poised to get more conservative, not less, in the imminent elections. This is incoherence. OutServe, the underground network of gay service personnel, has reported that there is a widespread perception in the military in the wake of the ruling that the court ruling against the policy yesterday means the policy is over. Service Members Legal Defense Network has set up a website, sldn.org/still-at-risk, to warn members of the military to not come out, that the policy is still in effect. We were told in all of our queries today that anyone coming out in the military now is absolutely still at risk of being fired for doing so. It is not over. The policy is still in effect. And the plan from the White House for ending it is apparently to count on the United States Senate to do the right thing. That's the plan. Aaron Belkin, an expert on the issue at UC Santa Barbara, told the New York Times today the thing that everybody else is dancing around and unwilling to admit, that unless the president declines to appeal the ruling in Log Cabin Republicans versus United States, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy probably will remain law for years. He's right. Unless you believe the U.S. Senate is going to do the right thing by gay people this year, with John McCain still there and a slate of Republican Senate candidates that includes an activist against women even serving in the military who once toured the country promoting the idea that being gay is curable, you know, like as if it's athlete's foot or something. Unless you believe that the United States Senate after this year's elections is going to do the right thing by gay service members, then the decision by the Obama administration whether or not to appeal this ruling is likely a decision between killing this policy now and letting it survive probably forever. This is not the conclusion I expected to reach after today's reporting on this subject and after today's interviews. Everybody says the Justice Department appealing this ruling is an inevitability. It does not have to be. It is not inevitable. If the administration believes the law is unconstitutional, there is precedent that supports the administration not appealing it and letting the law die. An orderly time frame for the death of the law can be arranged with the court. I hereby declare that I will never get another call back in Washington ever again for putting it this way to you, but it is the way it is. A plan that has no chance of becoming reality is not a real plan, no matter how much you say it is. You can either end it or you can stop saying you will. Thank you very much.